Hey, OKCPS team and family, this is Autumn Browning, and I'm here to explain the Week 4 continuing learning packets for the English 3 classes. Once you get logged into the OKCPS website and you find the English 3 curriculum, you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. For this week, we are asking you to do 1 reading and 1 writing activity daily. In addition, we would like you to be doing 1 to 2 vocabulary, 1 to 2 research and test prep, and 1 to 2 multimodal and speaking and listening activities per week. For your reading activities this week, you can choose a News ELA article. Once you log into News ELA and you click on News, you'll go ahead and click an article that looks interesting to you. After reading the article, you'll notice this little tab that says Activities on the right-hand side. After clicking on that, it gives you writing and different multiple choice quizzes that help you prep and understand the article a little bit deeper. You can also choose the pre-selected article, Defying Gravity, and once you're finished, there are multiple choice questions that follow the article as well. Other options for reading this week include using your Metropolitan Library card to go ahead and access any books, magazines, comics, books, really anything interesting to you that you'd like to be reading. To log onto the Metropolitan Library system using one card, you'll need your student ID number. That will be your username, and your password will be your last name just as it appears in OKCPS's documentation. Other options that you have for reading are to analyze the short stories Lamb to the Slaughter and A Jury of Her Peers. Both of these articles are found on CommonLit, and you also have the annotation tool available to you so you can mark up your text just like you would if you had a paper copy. You also have guiding, assessment, and discussion questions that follow each short story. There are also specific questions that the district is asking you to think about, so please make sure you're reading your directions carefully on this page. And lastly, you can go ahead and read through the jury trial handbook and analyze 3 different things that are important for people who are asked to be jurors and what they should know. Note this handbook is pretty big, and so you may want to use your table of contents to help you find the exact page or exact topic that you're looking for. For your writing activities this week, you can go ahead and write 1 full page on any of these any of these creative writing prompts found on this blog. If you're more comfortable using a traditional writing prompt, there are 5 from you to choose from. Other writing activities this week include writing a summary of what you read. In your summary, try to write 1 paragraph that just focuses on the skill of summarization, and then 1 paragraph that is about your opinion of whatever you read about. So you could also go ahead and imagine that you are an investigating officer after reading the short stories this week, and you want to write a short report about your observations at the crime scene and your conclusions based upon what you saw. You can also go ahead and write a paragraph explaining how having people from diverse backgrounds serving together on a jury ensures justice. And lastly, OG&E is doing a creative writing contest that puts you eligible to win a $100 gift certificate. All of the directions are listed on this website, but please note this is due Thursday, April 30th, so you don't have that much time to complete your essay. You have 3 different prompts that you can write your essay over. The first is, how has the pandemic changed the way you think about social interaction and going to school? What is something positive that has or could come out of this experience? And this can be about you, your family, or your community as a whole. And lastly, you can answer, what have you learned about yourself during this quarantine? Again, this entry is due on Thursday, April 30th by 11:59 p.m. For your vocabulary activities this week, you can go ahead and you can do some test prep around the ASVAB. All of these words are also commonly used words in your school curriculum, so it'll help you with both your regular content and also if you are interested in taking the ASVAB. If you would like more information about the ASVAB, which is the military entrance exam, you can go ahead and click on that link and it'll give you quite a bit of information about that as well. You also can go ahead and use a Venn diagram to explain the meaning of justice and innocence as it pertains to the stories that you have read. please make sure that you are using all components of the Venn diagram, including the similarities and differences. You also can look at 100 different words every high school graduate should know. Again, this should just be a continuation from the previous week. Please don't try to memorize all 100 words in a week. Just choose a few that you haven't had exposure to and really try to practice developing them into your regularly used vocabulary. Lastly, you can identify 5 different words that you feel other people your age should know, and this can be based upon the reading that you've done this week, and you'll want to complete this graphic organizer when you're done. For your research and test prep activities, please spend some time preparing for the ACT. So once you use the ACT Academy website, there are 4 different categories of tests that you can take, and all of these are directly aligned to the actual ACT. So if I know I'm going to take the reading test and I need more help with the key ideas and details, I can click on this subset and it'll be specifically questions that test these skills. So it really does help you fill some gap areas that you may have. Other options, you can go ahead and you can analyze, you can make inferences based upon what you read. So you practice summary and paraphrasing. So you want to draw a conclusion about the evidence that you have read during your reading blocks. So you could also go ahead and analyze these 2 prompts. So during the time that A Jury of Her Peers was written, women were not allowed to vote or serve on juries. So who was the first woman to actually serve on a jury? When was she able to do so? And how has women's involvement in the courts changed since the story is written? You may want to do some research around that. And you can also research times in which justice was not served and the courts had to come back to correct their errors. And can people who were unjustly punished ever be compensated for their time spent? And what can we do to ensure that these injustices do not continue to happen today? For your multimodal and speaking and listening activities, you can create 3 slides on PowerPoint or Google Slides to teach a friend about the 3 most common grammar mistakes on the ACT, and make sure you include examples. This will also help you practice your ACT skills. Think about what you've read today and create a tweet sharing your reflections about the text. You can also create at least 5 presentation slides on PowerPoint or Google Slides to show how female or minority involvement in the US judicial system has changed over time. And then lastly, you could watch this TED Talk on the Innocence Project and what is the difference between a system of truth and a system of fair procedure. Discuss your thoughts with someone regarding the Innocence Project and how our judicial system has changed over time. So here is the link to that as well. If you have any questions as you are working through these materials, please contact your English teacher. Know that we really miss you and we're here to support you in whatever way we can. We hope that you're still reading and still practicing all these skills so that next school year we can just hit the ground running and get right back into the swing of things. We love you, OKCPS. Please be reading. Have a great night.